இல்ல டேட்டா ஆன் பண்ணிட்டு நான் லிங்க் ஆன் பண்ணுறேன்.
30% இருக்கு. போதுமா? இது சார்ஜ் போதுங்களா?
போதும்.
மாட்டேன்.
மோனிஷா தான் பிரசன்ட் பண்ண. ஆக்சுவலி மோனிஷான்னு கூட பண்ணேன். மோனிஷா தான். எனக்கு மோனிகா தான் சொன்னாங்க கால் பண்ணி. இப்போ நான் லிங்க் ஆன் பண்ணுறேன்.
சொல்லுமா, நீங்க கேட்க ஆரம்பிக்கிறேன். ஓகே, யார் வாட்ச் பண்ணிருக்காங்க? ஓகே, ஃப்ரோசன் நீ எடுத்துக்கோயா? பத்திரமா போசட்டா, பத்திரம் நான் போவேன். நாங்க இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? வாட்ஸ்அப்ல வந்து நான் போயிட்டு போட்டேன்.
ஹலோ.
எஸ் மேம். ஹலோ. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, start. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Yeah, present the case, Monisha.
Okay, ma'am. Mrs. Alamelu, 37-year-old female, coming from Raipur, belonging to socio-economic status, upper lower class, housewife by occupation, came with.
What's her age? What's her age? What's her age? 47. Okay.
Came with chief complaint of heavy bleeding for the past month.
Okay. Okay.
There is a history of heavy menstrual bleeding for the past month, and changes 10 packs per day, fully. There is no.
It's not clear, Monisha. It's not clear. I am getting echoing. Okay. Whether my voice is clear?
Now it is clear, ma'am. Before it was echoing.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll start. Okay.
And there is
so
no.
She is complaining of. Okay, she is complaining of excessive menstrual bleeding. Okay.
Yes.
No history of bleeding from any other site, and no history of amenorrhea before bleeding PD, and there is no history of pre or post-menstrual spotting,
Mm.
and no history of intermenstrual
Mm.
bleeding. There is history of fatigue and symptoms, 2 episodes in 1 month, and also history of weight loss. There is no history of mass abdomen.
Okay. So wait, you said she has heavy menstrual bleeding. How do you know it is a heavy menstrual bleeding?
Ma'am, she changes 10 pads per day, ma'am, which is fully soaked.
It's fully soaked. Okay. Hmm. Then, what are the points to say it is the heavy menstrual bleeding? One is pads, right? A number of pads, but it should
Yes.
be fully soaked. Okay, one. Second point, it must be associated with the clots. Okay, and
Yes.
there is a whether it's a small clot or big clot, you have to describe. Okay, third point is menstrual accidents. It's called as it is the menstrual flooding. That is, she will soak up one pad within 2 hours. It's called as the menstrual flooding or it's a menstrual accidents. Okay, it's there for her.
Don't know, ma'am, because I got this
Okay.
from.
Okay. Then next is the one more thing is she must be pale. So
Yes.
அதுவும் இருந்தாதான் you can say it's a heavy menstrual bleeding. Okay.
Okay.
Then you said she doesn't have pre and post menstrual spotting. What does it
Yes.
imply?
Uh, if there is the persistence of carpus luteum or deficient carpus luteum will lead to spotting.
Okay, correct. So irregular ripening and irregular shedding. These are the two types of bleeding in a ovulatory DUB. Okay, it happened in a ovulatory DUB. So that you should elicit. Then one more thing you said intramenstrual
Bleeding.
spotting. So where
Uh,
you will get a intramenstrual spotting?
if there is any polyps, ma'am,
Okay, very good. Polyp.
fibroid,
Any other fibroid polyp? Okay, then
and cervix.
any local infection in local disease like cervix, like if you have a infection or cervical erosion, sometimes the patient will have a spotting intramenstrually. One more important thing is the ovulation bleeding. சரியா? So it's
Okay.
in that is at the time of ovulation they will have a spotting. Okay, that you have to say. Okay, then next.
Previous menstrual history, attained menarche at 16 years, which is regular cycle, 4 days in 28 days, which is of
Uh,
moderate flow, not associated pain or chaos.
okay. Mm.
Marital history, married at 25 years, non-consanguineous marriage, no contraception used.
Mm. Okay.
Uh, Previous obstetric history, first child, 1 year after marriage, a male baby, all the 3 trimesters were uneven full, normal vaginal delivery at RSRM in RSRM, no
No,
postpartum.
don't tell obstetric history detail. I want to know only how many children's last childbirth, mode of delivery, whether she got sterilized or not.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
She got 2 children and sterilization done after second childbirth in RSRM hospital, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Past
what
history,
is post ligatory syndrome or post sterilization syndrome?
uh,
Post ligatory syndrome, that is following a tubal ligation, certain nearly around 15 to 20% of women will have a AUB pain, that is pelvic pain and the ovarian cyst that happen following a sterilization. So that is called as the post tubal ligation syndrome or post ligation syndrome. So AUB, ovarian cyst and pelvic pain. Okay, then that's why the sterilization is very important. Next.
okay. Past history, There is no history of diabetes, hypertension, TB, epilepsy, asthma, hypo or hyperthyroidism. And there is history of blood transfusion 2 times in the last 1 month. And history of drug intake, norepinephrine. Family, no significant family history. Personal history, mixed diet, normal bowel and bladder habits, no adverse social habits.
Okay.
General examination, she was conscious, oriented, moderately built and nourished. Pallor present, no stress, no fetal edema, no cyanosis, no generalized lymphadenopathy. Breast thyroid examination, all were normal. And vitals, pulse 68 per minute, BP 130 by 80 mmHg, respiratory rate 15 per minute, temperature afebrile. RS examination, normal vesicular breath sounds here. CVS S1, S2 here, no murmurs. CNS, no focal neurological deficit. Systemic examination. Abdomen examination on inspection, abdomen not distended, all quadrants move equally with respiration. Umbilicus in midline, sterilization scar, health scar of size 4 cm in the suprapubic region seen. No sinuses with dilated lines.
Okay.
And palpation, it is not warm, not tender, soft, no adenomegaly, no mass per abdomen.
Okay.
And on no shifting dullness. Auscultation, bowel sounds here. And on gynec examination, external genitalia and pubic hair appears normal.
Okay.
And the diagnosis is a case of abnormal uterine bleeding for further evaluation.
Okay. So how will you evaluate further? How will you evaluate?
We need to do some investigations, like routine examinations, like routine investigations like CBC. You have to look for HB, PCV.
No. The investigation, if it comes, you have to say per abdominal, and that is per vaginal speculum examination must be included. Since you are finishing with the only local examination, when an investigation is asked, you should say, I will do a per speculum examination. So in a per speculum, what you will see? What you will look for in a per speculum? You know, a polyp, that is, what is that? Palm coin classification, right? So you have to rule out everything by the per speculum and per vaginal. Then only we are going for the investigation. What you will look in a per speculum examinations. You can diagnose.
So bleeding.
Yeah, you can find out the bleeding. Cervical ஏதாவது lesions இருக்கான்னு you can see. Cervical you can see the erosion. Sometimes even a growth. Since she is a 47 years, carcinoma cervix is also more common. Carcinoma cervix is also some present with the menorrhagia. So you can rule out the carcinoma cervix. Then one more thing, what is PALM?
PALM is P for polyp, A for adenomyoma, L for leiomyoma, and M for
malignancy. So first is the polyp. You can diagnose a polyp, endometrial polyp. Okay, endometrial polyp. How it acts? How it happens? The endometrium grows, and it become polypoidal, and it will come protrude through the cervix. You can get adenomyosis polyp or fibroid polyp or endometrial polyp. How will you diagnose an endometrial polyp? Endometrial polyp will be very thin, reddish in color, tongue மாதிரி இருக்கும் சரியா, very thin, very long. Whereas fibroid polyp லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா you can feel it, it's a warm globular swelling, a very big size with a thick pedicle you can see. Whereas endometrial polyp will appears like a tongue, like thin, soft, reddish in color. So you can diagnose that polyp by the speculum examination. Next is your adenomyosis. How will you diagnose adenomyosis? By pervaginal examination. Pervaginal examinationல adenomyosisக்கு எப்படி தெரியும்னா, adenomyosis ஃபைப்ராய்டும் நீங்க எப்படி டிஃபரன்ஷியேட் பண்ணுவீங்க? Do you know how to differentiate between adenomyosis and fibroid?
No, ma'am.
Yeah. Adenomyosis will be the patient's complaint in adenomyosis is அதே மாதிரி AUB இருக்கும், menorrhagia they will have. One more important finding is the triple dysmenorrhea. Okay, what is triple dysmenorrhea? Usually the dysmenorrhea happens during menstruation, whereas triple dys and after the period stops, the dysmenorrhea goes up. That is the normal dysmenorrhea. Whereas in a triple dysmenorrhea, periods வரதுக்கு முன்னாடியும் they will have for 5 days they will have a pain abdomen. Then during menses also they will have a pain abdomen, and after the menses over for the 1 week they will have a pain. அதாவது 3 ஃபேஸ்லயும் இருக்கிறதுனால it is called as the triple dysmenorrhea. So இந்த symptoms அதனால dysmenorrheaன்னு சொன்னாங்கன்னா you should elicit all இந்த 3 ஃபேஸ்லயும் இருக்கான்னு you have to ask. So triple dysmenorrhea with the menorrhagia and per vaginal examination, the uterus will be uniformly enlarged. So whereas myoma அப்படி irregular enlargement இருக்கும், whereas adenomyosis uniformly enlarged uterus with the tender uterus. So in the 4 points இருந்ததுன்னா you can say it is the adenomyosis. So heavy menstrual bleeding, triple dysmenorrhea, uniformly enlarged uterus up to 12 weeks. 12 weeks மேல அது போகவே போகாது. Whereas fibroid will go up to the 20 weeks, 34 weeks வரைக்கும் கூட it will go. And it's a tender uterus by clinical by vaginal examination. Okay, next is your fibroid, leiomyoma. How will you diagnose a leiomyoma? Again, you will have a menorrhagia, dysmenorrhea கூட இருக்கலாம். Then vaginal examinationல என்ன தெரியும்? It will be irregularly enlarged and it will be reached to the any level it can go depending upon the size of the fibroid. Okay, then M is the malignancy. It may be endometrial carcinoma. Then endometrial hyperplasia, right? Okay. What is endometrial carcinoma? For whom it is more common? What is corpus cancer syndrome? Corpus cancer syndrome is obesity, hypertensive, diabetic, along with the endometrial. They are more prone for the endometrial carcinoma. That is called as the corpus cancer syndrome. Obesity, diabetes and hypertension. அதனால தான் இந்த மூணோட பேஷண்ட் வந்தா will do a endometrial biopsy. கண்டிப்பா we have to do in a AEB woman with this types. Okay. And then next is your endometrial hyperplasia. What is the normal endometrial thickness in a reproductive age group?
Less than 12 mm.
It must be less than 12. Whereas in a postmenopausal, it must be
less than 4.
Less than 4 according to ACOG, but it can be less than 5 also according to FIGO classification. FIGO. Okay. So if it is more, so who are all prone for this endometrial hyperplasia? இதே மாதிரி தான். So obesity, hypertensive, diabetic, and a patient who is getting a estrogen, unopposed estrogen for a longer time. சரியா? And what is unopposed estrogen for a longer time? Especially in a PCOD, polycystic ovarian syndrome, they will have amenorrhea for longer time. So that is the estrogen is there for a longer time. So, and the PCOD mothers and obese mothers are more common for the endometrial hyperplasia. Even the tamoxifen will cause the endometrial hyperplasia. Where the tamoxifen is used? It is used in the breast cancer. It is tamoxifen is the selective action. On breast, it will act as the anti-estrogenic, whereas on the uterus, it acts as the estrogenic. சரியா? அதனால tamoxifen history இருக்கானோ you should ask in that. Okay, the next is the, okay, what are all the investigations you will do? என்ன இன்வெஸ்டிகேஷன் நீ போட்டிருக்கிறதே படி, ஏன்னா நான் செல்லுல பேசுறேன், நான் பார்க்க முடியல. சொல்லு என்னென்ன இன்வெஸ்டிகேஷன்ஸ்?
CBC, we look for hemoglobin, PCV, bleeding time and clotting time.
Okay, then
thyroid function test,
நோ சிபிசில இன்னொன்னு ரொம்ப முக்கியமா பாப்பல, என்ன பாப்பா? சிபிசில என்னென்ன இருக்கு? ஹெச்பி, பிசிவி, தென்
Platelet,
டோட்டல் கவுண்ட் பார்க்க மாட்டியா?
yes, ma'am. Total count and
Total
platelet.
count. Platelet.
Plate,
Platelet is very important, right? Which coagulatory dysfunction is more common in this reproductive age group women?
thrombocytopenia, Satira, ma'am.
Coagulatory. Idiopathic
sorry.
thrombocytopenic purpura. ITP is more common in the adult, whereas the von Willebrand disease is more common in the adolescent age group. ஸோ அதனால நீ ஐடிபிக்காக பிளேட்லெட் கண்டிப்பா பண்ணி ஆகணும். அதே மாதிரி த ப்ளீடிங் டைம், கிளாட்டிங் டைம், கொயாகுலேஷன் ப்ரொஃபைல் மஸ்ட் பி டன். கொயாகுலேஷன் ப்ரொஃபைல் இன்க்ளூட்ஸ் prothrombin time, activated partial thromboplastin time. Okay, the next investigation.
USG, ma'am. Transvaginal.
Ultrasound. So ultrasound, the transvaginal is the best ultrasound. So how will you diagnose the ultrasound? You can diagnose. நம்ம சொன்ன இந்த 4 you can diagnose in ultrasound. Polyp you can diagnose. How will you diagnose a polyp in ultrasound? There is intracaviticular, you will see the hyperechoic lesion. நீங்க ஸ்கேன் பிக்சர் பார்த்துருந்தீங்கன்னா whichever is seen as a white is called as hyperechoic, அந்த டார்க்கா இருக்கிறதெல்லாம் it's called as hypoechoic. So hyperechoic mass in the uterine cavity with the feeding vessel sign. சரியா? அது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். the feeding vessel sign என்னன்னா, இப்போ ஒரு செடியில ஒரு ஒரு ஃப்ரூட் வருதுன்னா ஒரு சின்னதா ஒரு காம்பு மாதிரி ஒட்டிட்டு இருக்கோம்ல, அந்த பிரான்ச்க்கும் அந்த ஃப்ரூட்க்கும் நடுவுல, அந்த மாதிரி you will see that is in a scan, that is called as the feeding vessel sign. If that is not seen, it may be a fibroid, submucous fibroid. So you have to look for the feeding vessel. So you can diagnose a polyp. Polyp best diagnosis வேற என்னன்னா, how can you diagnose the polyp? Other than TBS, you have to do the saline infusion sonography. சரியா? Saline infusion sonography is they will instill a 860 ml of saline into the uterine cavity. Then you have to look for the scan. அப்போ the polyp will float in the water in the uterine cavity. So saline infusion sonography, or even the hysteroscopy will tell you the correct, you can find out a polyp. Okay, then you can diagnose the adenomyosis. You can see the everything. You can what is that? Hyperplasia you can diagnose, and a fibroid you can diagnose. Then what's your next diagnosis? Next investigation.
Pap smear to look for any cervical lesion.
Yes, Kandipa, you have to, for all gynec cases, you have to do a pap smear, via villi, and colposcopy. These 3 things are must in all diagnosis gynec cases. So in the test நீங்க கண்ண மூடிட்டு you can write all the tests. Okay, the next. Then any other test you want to do? வேற என்ன? You have a endometrial what?
For CT MRI is needed to look for ovarian mass.
CT MRI, it's a high-end investigations. That for the only for the fibroid you can do that. Other small things like polyp and everything can be diagnosed with the TVS or saline infusion sonography or hysteroscopy. What about endometrial aspiration biopsy? Endometrial aspiration biopsy has to be done in case of any case of that, especially more than 40 years to male AUB AUB. If any woman who's having a AUB in more than 40 years, young woman the high risk factors like obesity, hypertension, diabetes, and unopposed estrogen like in a PCOD, and then a family history of endometrial cancer. இவங்களுக்கெல்லாம் you should do the endometrial aspiration biopsy. So endometrial aspiration biopsy, we are doing it with the Pippel's biopsy forceps. It's available in our, so once you come to hospital, you can see it's available in our hospital. It's a Pippel biopsy. It is introduced into the uterine cavity, and then வெளியில ஒரு plunger மாதிரி இருக்கும், அதை you have to pull it out so that the negative pressure is created. So negative pressure, the endometrium will be sucked in the pipple, then that will be sent for histopathology. Okay. Then next, when you will do a dilatation and curettage?
To look for endometrial pattern, endometrial carcinoma.
Okay, endometrial carcinoma can be diagnosed only after the histopathology, right? So, நீங்க biopsy எடுக்கணும், அது வந்து whether we want to do a endometrial biopsy எடுக்கலாமா, இல்ல dilatation and curettage. Pipple endometrial aspiration biopsy using a pipple is the OP procedure without any anesthesia. OPLA will introduce the catheter and remove that endometrium. Whereas dilatation and curettage has to be patient run under the anesthesia. So in a theater, we'll do it under anesthesia or under a paracervical block. The os is dilated, then the endometrium is curated using a curette forceps. Using a curette will curate the endometrium, sent for. So you must know to whom you want to do a biopsy, to whom you want to do a curette. யாருக்கு பண்ணலாம்? The endometrial thickness is the indication, but you have to differentiate. So if the thickness is the uniform, you can do a endometrial aspiration biopsy. Whereas the thickness is irregular and you see the cystic spaces in the endometrium, that is more pathological of the carcinoma. So on the case, you have to do a dilatation and curettage. Okay, then next. Okay, so that's all right. So we'll go to the treatment. So இப்போ வந்து first one, okay. So you have done a curettage. The specimen is coming. So what are the histopathological types you expect in a dilatation and curettage or in an endometrial biopsy? So எப்போ பண்ணணும் endometrial aspiration or dilatation or in which period of menstrual cycle you will do? Prior to menstruation, சரியா? Before menstruation, that is after ovulation and before menstruation. Usually it is done on the 5 days before the expected date of menstruation. So why it should be done in that period? Most of the AUB, the anovulation is the culprit. So if you want to diagnose the anovulation, ovulation வந்த பிறகு பண்ணாதான் ovulation நடந்ததா இல்லையான்னு நம்ம கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியும். So you have to do it on the either after the 21st day or before 5 days of menstruation, you can do the biopsy. So now tell me, what are the types you can get in an endometrium? Normal endometrium கூட வரலாம் இல்லையா? Normal endometriumனா என்னன்னா proliferative endometrium or a secretory endometrium. Then what is the other things?
Endometrial hyperplasia, which is simple or complex.
Very good. Endometrial hyperplasia. Hyperplasia is divided into simple hyperplasia, complex hyperplasia, simple or complex with atypia. சரியா? Atypia is the precursor for the carcinoma. So atypia vandale most of the case will go for the hysterectomy. So it will remove the uterus. So what is simple hyperplasia? What is the percentage of simple hyperplasia will go for the malignancy? That is usually asked. So you have to say what is the percentage will go for the cancer? 1%. Right? 1% will go for the cancer. Other complex hyperplasia andadana 3% will go for a cancer. Simple hyperplasia with atypia 8% will go for a cancer. complex hyperplasia with atypia, 29% will go for the cancer. அதனால தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் 1 அப்புறம் 3 அப்புறம் 8 9 829. So அதனால தான் whenever the atypia happens, we'll advise them to go for a hysterectomy. சரியா? Okay. The next is okay. Then what? So for her, do you want to go for the endometrial aspiration? Okay. What is disordered proliferative phase? Monisha?
Yes.
What is disordered proliferative phase? That is also one histopathology that will come. Nammaloda report la that will come. What is that? So proliferative phase, when it happens, it must be happen in a follicular phase. Before ovulation is the proliferative phase because of estrogen, and the secretory phase in the post ovulatory because of progesterone. But you are doing a endometrial biopsy in a post ovulatory. So when you get a proliferative phase in a secretory phase duration, that is in a post ovulatory, it is called as the disordered proliferative endometrium. Right? Okay.
Okay.
Then what? How do you want to treat her?
By medical management, we can give NSIDs or
Okay, you can give the first is the NSID. NSID, what NSID?
mefenamic acid.
Mefenamic acid. 500 milligram TDS or QID you can give. எல்லாத்துக்கும் they will ask the side effects. NSID you can say all, எல்லாத்துக்குமே you can say the gastric, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea you can say. But for the next is the tranexamic acid. Tranexamic acid எங்க கொடுப்பீங்க? எவ்வளவு கொடுப்பீங்க? Tranexamic acid is again 500 milligram. TDS or QID you can give. Tranexamic acid we are also giving it during a cesarean section to decrease the bleeding during cesarean section also. But tranexamic acid has the complications like it will go for the retinal artery thrombosis leading to blindness. So tranexamic acid you have to be very careful. So it will cause the intracranial thrombosis or retinal artery thrombosis. So now you should be very careful in giving a tranexamic acid. Okay, the next is what else you want to give?
We can give any hormonal treatment. We can give like Merinamine, levonorgestrel, I use.
Okay, progesterone you can give. Progesterone நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ற progesterone என்னன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா first is the norethisterone, that is regesterone. The norethisterone you can give, and second is the we are having a MPA, medroxyprogesterone acetate. It's a oral tablet form, and you are having a medroxyprogesterone injection also. That is used as both for the contraception and for the AUB. What is that Government of India name of that medroxyprogesterone acetate injection? That is available in our family planning department because that is we are using for the contraception. So அது பேர் கண்டிப்பா உங்களை கேட்பாங்க எக்ஸாம்ல. What is that? That is called as Antara. ANTARRA, Antara. So that is used in then அதே மாதிரி you have any other drugs for the Government of India supply drugs for the both for the menorrhagia and for the contraception? What is that? Ossipils, oral contraceptive pills, right? That is the Government India supply. You can give the Ossipils also. Then another any other drug with that is அதே மாதிரி for both for the AUB and for the contraception you have a progesterone IUCD, and progesterone IUCDs are not Government India supply. you have a ormiloxifene tablets. Have you read about the ormiloxifene,
Uh,
Monisha?
yes, ma'am.
Ormiloxifene. Ormiloxifene is it's a government India supply. That name is called as the Chaya.
Uh,
CHAYYA, Chaya or Sekeli. It is a government India supply. ஸோ நீங்க வந்தீங்கன்னா ஃபேமிலி பிளானிங் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்ல போய் இந்த ரெண்டுத்தையும் வாங்கி you have to see both Chaya tablet and Antara injection.
okay.
Next is the and one more thing. Okay, then progesterone you have a Mirena, levonorgestrel releasing IUDs. How much it releases? It releases 20 microgram per day. So whenever the progesterone level, which is the best progesterone you suggest nu ketangana, you must say it is the levonorgestrel progesterone is the best progesterone. But it is the போடுறது கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமா இருக்கும். It insertion needs anesthesia because it is inserted into the uterus, right? So you need anesthesia to insert it into that uterus. But it de-avoids of what? It systemic side effect of the progesterone. What are the systemic side effect of progesterone? Progesteroneல என்ன மாதிரி Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Monisha?
Hello.
So what are the side effects? Progesterone. Progesterone will mimic a pseudo pregnancy state. So the patient will become obese, water bloating appearance, and breast enlargement, and water retention in the body, period edema, and everything. It mimic a pregnancy that is. உங்களுக்கு யூஸ்வலாக எம்சிக்யூல கேட்பாங்க the drug which causes pseudo pregnancy is the progesterone. அதே மாதிரி you have a drug which causes the pseudomenopause. What are the drugs will cause the pseudomenopause? It is the GnRH analog and danazol will mimic a pseudomenopause. That you have to see. Okay. So she is a 47 years. So if suppose the endometrium comes as the simple hyperplasia, what do you want to do? 47 years, completed menopause. Mostly will advise them a hysterectomy. இதே இப்போ ஒரு வந்து 35 years woman, not yet conceived, so she is having a simple hyperplasia. What you will give? What drug you will prefer? So simple hyperplasia without atypia. So any will put a levonorgestrel into the uterus. So that is the treatment. Okay. Then okay. Okay. Then I'll Shuma or outline matra I'll tell you. Okay. It's a theory part. Yes. Okay. So when you give a, and you have to say the correction of anemia நீங்க விட்டுட்டீங்க. So you have to say the correction of anemia. Okay. The next is I'll give a scenario. 35 years nulliparous, intramenstrual bleeding, and ultrasound you are seeing a feeding vessel sign. What is your diagnosis? Polyp. Right? Because I told you no, and feeding vessel sign. So endometrial polyp will be there. அதே மாதிரி when a 45 years woman with the complaining of menorrhagia, you have to go for the endometrial aspiration, okay, or dilatation and curettage. And what are any other treatment which is available for the AUB other than the medical management?
Surgical
Other than என்னமா?
Surgical management.
You can go for the surgical management. Endometrial ablation. What is endometrial ablation? they will remove that is, they will remove the endometrium. You can remove only the superficial endometrium using the hysteroscope with the resectoscope. That like a scissor madri irukum. In a scissor, they will cut all the endometrium, and so that the woman become amenorrhea. And other madri, there are thermal balloons are available. The balloon is introduced into the uterine cavity and the hot saline is introduced through the balloon. So with the heat, the endometrium is coagulated. And you have a radio frequency ablation, that is NovaSure. That is also available. But with the advent of that Mirena, the endometrial ablation has been not done. So that replaced the endometrial ablation. Endometrial ablation has got its own side effects. Like they will go for the amenorrheic, whereas in a Mirena, again they will go for amenorrheic. But once the Mirena are removed, the disease cures. Okay, that is the thing. Then when you will diagnose a coin or expansion will tell. C is the coagulation. So coagulation, to whom you will suspect a coagulation disorder? Adolescent age group. So adolescent age group, and again adolescent age group are more prone for the coagulatory dysfunction. So what are all the history that will tell you that she has a coagulatory dysfunction? So Katina, they will say the
Hello.
the surgery related bleeding. So they will say during surgery they transfuse the blood, and dental procedures like tooth extraction is the only OP procedure, right? So even with the tooth extraction, they would have bled abnormally, and the family history of bleeding disorder and epistaxis. They will say monthly I'm getting an epistaxis, and bruising. All this tells you that it's a surgery coagulation disorder. Okay. Next is the coin. Then what is that? Next is the ovulatory dysfunction. The ovulatory dysfunction is the one that is called as the anovulation. So here the patient will present with the prolonged period of amenorrhea followed by bleeding for a longer time. So in the pattern in the it is called as the old name is the metropathia hemorrhagica. Now it is the new name is the only the oligomenorrhea followed by the heavy menstrual bleeding. So what happens here is because of estrogen, the endometrium grows to certain height. But for certain point of time, the endometrium overgrows the blood supply from the which artery? Spiral artery. இருந்து வர blood supply cut off ஆனோடனே they will go for the necrosis and bleed. Okay, so that is called as the metropathia hemorrhagica. That it happens in a PCOD. Again, this type is common in a post-perimenopausal woman age group. So in the endometrium எடுத்து பார்த்தா what you will see it's the mostly they will present with the hyperplastic pattern. So hyperplastic patternல என்ன தெரியும்னு கேட்பாங்க. You should say it is the Swiss cheese appearance. ஸ்விஸ் சீஸ்னா நீங்க பார்த்துருக்கீங்களா? சின்ன ஓட்டை பெரிய ஓட்டை, சின்ன ஓட்டை பெரிய ஓட்டையா நிறைய அப்படிதான் இருக்கும் ஸ்விஸ் சீஸ். அதே மாதிரி when you see the slide you will see the small gland, big gland, small gland, big gland. Okay, that is the sister glandular hyperplasia. So you have to do a curette and treat that and give a progesterone, that is ideally levonorgestrel is the ideal progesterone. Okay. That's all. Any doubts? Okay, Monisha. Thank you, Monisha.
Thank you, ma'am.